Hello, committee chair, members of the committee, and members of the public. Adam Smith, City Manager's Office, here with a presentation on the sale of successor agency-owned property to the Oxnard Housing Authority. Recommendation is that the Community Services, Public Safety, Housing, and Development Commission recommends, 1, that the Oxnard Community Development Commission successor agency adopt a resolution entitled "A Resolution of the Governing Board of the Successor Agency approving and recommending to the Ventura County Consolidated Oversight Board approval of, 1, entry by the Oxnard Community Development Commission successor agency into a proposed purchase and sale agreement with the Oxnard Housing Authority; 2, a grant deed to effectuate said purchase and sale of real property; 3, the remittance of the net purchase price proceeds received by the successor agency after close of escrow to the Ventura County Auditor Controller for disposition to taxing entities; and 4, related actions. Second recommendation is that the Housing Authority Board of Commissioners adopt a resolution entitled "A Resolution of the Governing Board of the Oxnard Housing Authority approving, 1, entry by the Oxnard Housing Authority into a proposed purchase and sale agreement with the successor agency; 2, a grant deed to effectuate said purchase and sale of real property by the Oxnard Housing Authority's acceptance thereof; and 3, related actions. 3, that the City Council conduct a public hearing and consider the summary report prepared pursuant to California Health and Safety Code Section 33433. And 4, that the City Council adopt a resolution entitled "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Oxnard, 1, making findings and taking action pursuant to the provisions of California Health and Safety Code Sections 33431 and 33433. 2, approving A, the sale and transfer of certain real property from the successor agency to the Oxnard Housing Authority; B, entry by the successor agency and the Oxnard Housing Authority into a proposed purchase and sale agreement; and C, a grant deed to effectuate said purchase and said sale of real property; and 3, approving related actions. Okay. What we have is another step in the gradual process of the wind down of the former redevelopment agency in the city of Oxnard. And the redevelopment agency was known as the Community Development Commission, or CDC. And during its time of operations from the late 60s until about 2012, the CDC purchased many properties all throughout the city, including downtown Oxnard. And the properties that were purchased in downtown Oxnard were for downtown revitalization purposes. However, in 2012, a state law triggered the dissolution of all redevelopment agencies in California, including the CDC. After 2012, the CDC had to list all of its remaining properties on a master list, which is the Long Range Property Management Plan, or the LRPMP. And when that plan was drafted after 2012, there were 51 properties on the master list. Today, only 7 remain. These 7 are here, all in downtown Oxnard and the Meta area, which is just east of Oxnard Boulevard along 6th Street and 7th Street. On December 17, 2020, successor agency entered into an exclusive negotiating agreement with the Oxnard Housing Authority, or OHA, to negotiate the terms of a purchase and sale agreement for 4 of the remaining 7 successor agency properties. Once the ENA was entered, successor agency staff immediately entered into negotiations with the OHA to determine the price and terms for the properties. Now, any sale of these properties will include specific requirements regarding the type of project that will need to be constructed, which would be affordable housing, and ultimate approval of the agreements due to the 2012 redevelopment dissolution law has to go through a couple steps. After the successor agency and housing authority approve it, and it needs to go to the Ventura County Consolidated Oversight Board for approval, and then on to the State Department of Finance for ultimate approval. The 4 parcels that are in the purchase and sale agreement are listed here in green. The purchase price is going to be what is listed as the LRPMP. This table here gives a little information on the properties, such as the APN, what the LRPMP value is, and then what the proposed purchase price is. All 4 properties are being proposed to sell to the OHA for just under $213,000. Some of the purchase and sale agreement deal points, as stated, the purchase price for the properties is $212,740. with an escrow closing date of December 29th, 2020. There will be a grant deed attached to the purchase sale agreement, which states the properties must be developed as affordable housing for a term of 55 years. Additionally, there's a right of reverter. The OHA must forfeit its title to the properties and all improvements if the OHA abandons, substantially suspends, or fails to proceed with the construction of the affordable housing development for a period of 3 months after receiving a building permit, or transfers or suffers any involuntary transfer of the properties or any part thereof in violation of the grant deed. Now, pursuant to California Health and Safety Code Section 33433, before any successor agency sells its property, the legislative body, in this case, the city and successor agency, shall first approve the sale or lease by a resolution after a public hearing. And a 33433 is a report that needs to include several aspects of the deal, which would be the cost of the sale to the successor agency, the estimated value of the interest conveyed as determined at the highest and best uses, the estimated value of interest conveyed as determined at use and with conditions required by sale, and the explanation for any difference in the price if the sale price is less than the fair market value, and finally, an explanation of why the sale will assist in the elimination of blight. The next steps. After this item is presented to City Council, the successor agency and the OHA on October 5th, staff will bring the purchase and sale agreement and the accompanying documentation to the County Oversight Board for approval on October 27th, 2021. Once the Oversight Board approves, staff will forward the documentation to the DOF, and they have up to 100 days to approve it. The Housing Department and OHA staff will return to City Council and the Housing Authority Board of Commissioners before the December 29th, 2022 escrow deadline to satisfy all the escrow conditions. And at that time, staff will request authorization to execute a grant agreement between the city and the OHA with the use of local or federal funds to purchase the properties. The financial impact, again, sale price, just a little under $213,000. Per the 2012 redevelopment dissolution law, net proceeds from this sale needs to be transferred to the county auditor controller for distribution to the other taxing entities in the county. Now, the city's general fund is a taxing entity and would potentially receive approximately $42,000, or an estimated 19.6% of the sale proceeds. And finally, the successor agency will be responsible for paying all of the closing costs and related items. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.